the M&E component of the program will be presenting our tracker, the instrument that we use to track the assignment given to us as a project, which is the logical framework. And upon this, we are going to be judged. The last mission that we had, that is the bank, gave us a thumbs up in some areas that we performed absolutely without no doubts. But some aspect of, let's clap for ourselves, let's clap for ourselves. But there are some aspects which, component-wise, we did not perform physically. You know, for those that are still schooling, you understand why I'm saying this. By ranking, you might be good, but when they see it, they say, no, that's scared. It's not like that. This is the level at which we are for the engineering team. They understand the J color better, those colors that you are seeing. But where you see green, we have performed very well. Where you see amber, it means we are moving towards achieving what target we are giving. And where you see red, it means there is a question mark. For our outcome indicator, we have absolutely performed perfectly. And you can easily see it. Can you go down on it? For our outcome indicator, you know, if you say you are good, you are good, you are good, where is the evidence? This is the evidence. Evidence of all this achievement that we are seeing is bigger applause to the MPC, please. Yes, because the component prepared briefing to the MPC, and a suggestion was put across to him. An MPC asked, how important is this your suggestion? I said, sir, it is very, very important. As we are here, if we put our brains together and decided to archive it on the shelf, the generations that are coming behind us will not have anything to point to. That is what exactly that is actually happening then before the MPC assumed office. But when the MPC assumed office, I will explain to him the importance of publications. He gladly accepted it. And by the grace of God, as at December last year, we have published 14 publications. We have it here. And some of those publications, they are reference thing that we can refer to. Are actually lagging behind. And there are justifications to that. When MPC made his opening remark, and our director also did, he made it clear that there are reasons why those things happen. But as far as the component is concerned, activity that has to do with the assignment given to us as a project. And I want to plead with everybody. The fall of one is the fall of all. Let us help ourselves. We observed issues when we did the first data quality assessment. And the aim of the data quality assessment is to actually test how reliable your data is. Ministry will need our information to make policy. If our data are not reliable, you can't derive any policy from Adams One. But with what we have so far, we can beat our chest and say, yes, we can come at any time, ask for our data, and put it to test. And what we have is what we are going to get.
Good morning, or is it afternoon? For those that we haven't met yet in the year, let me say Happy New Year to you. It's always a joy to join the Atas family, whatever activity they are doing, and I'm happy to be here. Let me firstly apologize for not coming earlier. I had contemplated coming earlier, but there was a meeting that I thought would have closed, which is even still going on now. So apologies, please, for not being able to come today. Yeah, when the NPC told me about this event, I really wanted to be here and to participate through the event. Also knowing about ATAPS, where we have come from, where we are, and then where we are going to. The project has done considerably well in this last years. Happened some very transformative, very remarkable achievements, which is proud of. You know, at the point in time, like I heard the MME person talking about the infrastructure. Infrastructure is always challenging. It's always challenging to be able to deliver. So we're having quite some challenges with the infrastructure, for which reason we decided that let us manage what we have and let us not add more to what we have to do. But let us also see other things that needs, it's becoming an emergency and pressing in the country to address that had to do with it. So ATAPS was repurposed such that part of the resources within ATAPS will be used to support production of food. And last year, when I say we, I mean the Ministry of Federal Ministry of Agriculture and the projects tried to reactivate something that Nigeria had done previously, which is using ICT portal to deliver inputs through the last mile agreement to farmers. It has been a system that Nigeria had used previously, some lessons and some successes. And so ATAPS was made to also reactivate that. And I think that it was quite important. Even the procurements of the ICT vendor was novel. And the project was able to go through that. And not just that, use that platform to also deliver inputs to about 52,000 farmers within 5 of the 7 project states. And I think this was, to me, very catalytic. It's very catalytic in that the government has continued with what the project left off, with more resources to expand these agro pockets, which was started by ATAPS. The President of African Development Bank was in Nigeria, and he met with His Excellency, the President of the country, yesterday, and told that among other discussions, one of the things that they were very proud to talk about was what's through the NAS AP. It's being done. So if NAS AP has got a father and a mother, ATAPS is the father and the mother. If there are successes to celebrate, ATAPS will want to be a part of this celebration. Before this, my director, together with two special envoys to the President of African Development Bank, in the persons of Professor Saginge, who used to be the Director General for IITA, Professor Timothy Williams, who used to be the Director General for International Water Management Institute, together with my Director and my Manager, all came to Nigeria. And last week, we did have quite some interactions with the Vice President of his right with farmers in the field in Jigawa. The ZPC Jigawa, thank you so much for all the arrangements that you did for the team. And honestly, this changed the worldview of our appreciation of what Nigeria stands for. Because to go and see till where your eyes can see no more, wheat fields being cultivated at this time in this very dry area, and the crops doing as well as they were doing, was something that was very commendable. And all the team were so proud of what we saw. We have discussed that with the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, who was represented at the meeting by the Honorable Minister of States. We have discussed it with other development partners, and there is a lot of positive energy that has come. And I think that ATAPS should take recognition for what you did. Firstly, for agreeing to use part of the resources to start this, and then continuing with it with the NAS AP budget support operation, which I believe would attract some additional support for even further expansion of the program. So if you ask ATAPS, dies today, you have given birth to a very healthy child. I also want to commend the projects for the push that you have done in trying to get contractors and consultants to deliver, especially in the infrastructure. It has been a very difficult task to get the contractors to deliver on this infrastructure. Firstly, because the contractors, some of them, were used to, having contracts forever, having price adjustments and other things. But unfortunately, this was not possible in this case. And the contractor had to deliver. The project had to muscle its might, deploy all possible resources to push the contractors to deliver. And by virtue of the fact that I think about 5 or 6 of the irrigation schemes are now completed, and then most of the roads are completed apart from the additional works that are to be done, some of them like the one in Nigeria. By virtue of that fact, I would say that we have really progressed and we have done well. Lessons were fairly built in subsequent ones. Last mission that we had, we went to Kasan, we went to Kwagwe. We were the last contract that we given. We've got every reason to believe that this contract will be completed within the scheduled time. So it has been quite difficult, it has been quite taxing. We have had a lot of SMEs, sometimes arguing, sometimes throwing faces at each other, but at the end of it all, there are results to see, and then the bank would want to congratulate you and then say that we are proud of that. That said, I would want to say that ATAPS is not an infrastructure building, it is an agricultural project. So what we would want to see is green fields. We would want to see green fields. So it is my wish that as much as we try to complete this infrastructure, especially talking about irrigation schemes, let us also ensure that the farmers are organized and are made ready to use these schemes and they use it optimally. With irrigation schemes, if we are going to use them for the next 1 year, 2 years, there will be siltation, canals will start breaking, there will be vegetation growth on the fields, and by the time you realize the scheme that you have developed, you have lost it again. So I would plead with you that as much as we are pushing the contractors to deliver, let us be organizing the farmers and see how best we can be able to support them for them to also deliver. The last part one I would also want to talk about the social infrastructure of the projects. Most of them have been delivered far before now. And I think now those that were to receive some equipment and furniture have received them. Our objective is to see them also being used and being used well. There's one cleaning facility in Jigawa that we visited, and it's become really very transformative. You would want to see that all others are similarly used. The schools, you didn't start new schools, there were existing schools, and then you created classrooms and offices for the schools. Some of them are being used, some of them are not being used optimally, and then we want you to ensure that the whole thing is being used very well. And also the markets. With my experience, which is quite a while, not only in Nigeria, moving people from one marketplace to another marketplace, you have to be intentional about it, otherwise it won't happen. There have to be incentives for it. So I would want us to see whatever it will require for us to ensure that the markets, whether they are weekly markets or they are markets that are delivered, are also used, so that when we come to do a project completion assessment of the projects, not go and see an empty market or an empty school or a hospital that's a clinic that is not being used. We want to see these ones being used. That is when we'll be able to have a better calculation for them in terms of the investments that we have. The last comment I want to make is on the capacity. The last one, sorry. This one, another one. Last part one is about the capacity building, and I think that we have got a better story to tell than has been told. Because I've done quite a lot to be able to get the productivity of cassava moving from 12 metric tons per hectare to 34 metric tons per hectare. Rice moving from 2.12 metric tons per hectare to 6 metric tons per hectare. And so move from less than 1 metric ton per hectare to 2.12 metric ton per hectare. To me, it's a massive success. And we have to be able to let these things out. In our outcome indicators, you will see that when it comes to the outcomes with respect to jobs and with respect to the incomes, the figures look very interesting. And I want us to be able to get the storyline behind this very well told. So when you take the capacity building components, even the project, because the project resources are heavily for the infrastructure development, I think that the tone of the capacity building has not been as loud as it could be. So we could be able to try to see how best we can be able to see this. The last 2 nights, I was talking to this is my last point, to the NPC, because I wanted some figures. I wanted the figures because our bank president was going to meet with the president of the nation. And when you meet with the president of the nation, and then you are talking, you don't say that yields 50 kilometers of roads, 90 kilometers of canals. It doesn't resonate with what their drive in development is. And so we're struggling to be able to make this, put a human face to the figure that we're talking about. And I plead with M&E, I've asked this previously, that I want a human face to the stories. If you're telling me that you have done 600 kilometers of feeder roads, I want you to say that you have done 600 kilometers of feeder roads that cut across 34 communities with a population of 6 million persons, and is cutting this amount of inputs to farms and then this amount of output from farms. So when you're able to say that, then you'll be able to report higher, and then you'll be able to understand better. One of the easiest ways to talk to the president of the country was that through NACS, 120 hectares of wheat have been planted in this season, and with an estimated yield of say $4 per hectare, $5 per hectare, we are going to be able to achieve about 10% of the total that is consumed in Nigeria. So what states is 10% of total wheat consumption, rather than 560,000 metric tons is going to be produced. But to say that to persons other than those that are in the core area, if I say that we're doing 1 million metric tons of wheat, it doesn't mean anything. But if I say that 10% of what is consumed in Nigeria is being done, that's the kind of impact stories that I would want to burden you, that between now and September when we do the PCR, I would want us to have a lot of impact stories put together, do simple analysis, and come up with these stories so that we'll be able to use it. That's what I just want to once again thank you very much for all the cooperation. Everybody with no exception. It's been a very, very interesting journey. And I'm proud that I came at the time that I came. And I'm proud of where we have gotten to. And I'm even more proud of where we are going to be able to go to. And everywhere we go, we see things with pride. I say that I've been in development for quite a while. And when I go through places like Zambia and other places, and I see, oh, that is the skill that we constructed, or that is the warehouse that we built, or that is the cattle market that we developed. It gives you more satisfaction than what money can give to you. So it remains my desire that I also see this as our next project, and then you will see that there is a lot of successes that you can carry. God bless you all, and I wish you a very, very fruitful approach. Thank you.
Standing in for admin, ICT, as well as communication in this presentation. These activities that cover this presentation include that one of even the MPC office. So as you are aware, admin is a supporting department, a supporting unit of the program, and we play a lot of supporting role to the program. So most of the work we do is highly administrative and other function for the program. As you are aware, we are involved in maintaining the access of the whole program, both at the national level and at the zonal level. We also do some little bit of recruitment when the need arises for the support staff. Admin also participated in some of these training or workshop that are conducted by some of the technical staff. And we also embark on some of these missions, particularly that one that was conducted by African Development Bank. We also organize training. Recently, we concluded our staff training just last week with the top management staff and the M&E. So we conducted all training for all staff of the program at that level. We also participated in the NACS activities, and we also participated in the handling of some of these projects that was completed, particularly that one of Kwari irrigation scheme. There are a lot of activities we carry out. It's a routine activities that we carry out within the program and the zone. So these are the activities of the admin section. And that of the ICT is they also carry out maintenance of internet facility within the program. And then the general upgrading of some of our laptop and desktop. This is being done by the ICT specialists. There also we complete security coverage of the Atawan headquarters CCTV. We also installed CCTV in the national headquarters, which is being unused. We also assist other companies in carrying out some of their activities. The other aspect of the publication is that newspaper publication is ongoing, and that is 30% completion. And then they carry out social media retraining, which is a continual process, and it is completed at 40%. Retraining and use of handling of professional communication equipment, it has not been done also, and it has been completed up to 40%. And then the production of Matters TV documentary, 90% completion, as we are aware. And then we have newspaper supplement, that is slot, is in progress. And then carry out social media retraining, which is also in progress. Retraining on the use of handling of equipment is also in progress. Professional communication equipment, that workshop has been done. Production of ATAP's TV documentary is in progress. Social media step-down training for zonal is a success story. Documentation is on an annual basis and is still pending. It's going to be carried out. And then electronic billboard, it is only going to be annual activities, and it is pending. It will be conducted. Some of these challenges we have is that the high cost of maintaining of this our vehicle is a serious challenge to us. We are aware that these are Ford Rangers, which is use diesel petrol. It's a very, very difficult vehicle to maintain. But however, we are trying to put everything on course so that we maintain this vehicle. So if you want to service that vehicle alone, before you know, you have spent 200,000 just to service that vehicle. So it's a lot of cost. But nevertheless, we have to be very careful. And if it is due for servicing, please take it for servicing. And if it is due for repairs, if you hear anything that is wrong with the vehicle, honestly speaking, from our experience, if you leave it and say you manage it, you are damaging more to that vehicle. Before you know, a lot of things, by the time you open the vehicle, you see a lot of things have been damaged. So that is our experience with this Ford Ranger. Then the other issue is that I know the auditor has mentioned some of these administrative challenges we have on the issue of not recording some of these incoming mail and outgoing mail, which is a serious challenge. And MPCs has already emphasized on that. And then the lack of recording logbook is a serious challenge. Please, I know if you are recording your logbook very well, what I know is that when it's about to be finished, the driver should be able to tell you that so number of pages that is remaining, so that you can now request for one. But I know it will complete, it will finish, and it will take some time before we will have saying that the zone will say they need it. You are not supposed to wait until when it's finished before you request. You request when you know it is close to the last page. So please, recording of logbook is very critical. And then the issue of vehicle maintenance requisition book is very important. Once you want to request, you have a form. Vehicle has traveled outside the station, and by the time the vehicle comes back, there is what we call vehicle return log form. You are going to receive that form and report the situation of the vehicle as you travel out and come back. Tell us the situation of the vehicle. If the vehicle is okay, you say it's okay. If it has some issue, you mention some issue. So that at least by the time you tell us the situation of the vehicle, we should be able to initiate requests for repair, requests for maintenance. But if you keep quiet, nobody will know that you need this vehicle with this situation. So, and then the issue of form for requisition. You must have a form. If you are going out of the station, you have a form to fill. Then there is another form for the maintenance. That is where you initiate your maintenance. First of all, you call the driver. What is wrong with the vehicle? You mention it, and then you put it in a requisition form. You will inform the MPC. MPC will give approval. It is then you will now put up another memo to request that this is the situation, and then we request the mechanic that will do the job to bring his quotation, and then we write a memo, attach it, and send it to MPC. MPC will give approval. Then we will now pay the mechanic directly to his account. And then you come and carry the vehicle, the driver will carry the vehicle, and they will maintain it and then return it. Please, these are the process. Thank you very much.